Everyone knows winter is the real mess maker. You don't need WeatherTech floor liners for summer, unless you hit the beach and half the beach ends up back in your car, or the campsite dirt ends up in your trunk. Then you'd want a cargo liner. Or a road trip goes sideways, lemonade spills, ketchup goes rogue, ice cream drips. Yeah, you'd be pretty happy about those WeatherTech seat protectors. So just to be clear as the mud you're inevitably going to step in this summer, you don't need WeatherTech. Unless you plan on doing summer. Visit WeatherTech.com today.
Welcome to Cosmic Scene with Jill Jardine. I'm your host, Jill Jardine, Master's in Counseling Psychology, professional astrologer, psychic healer, and yogi. In today's episode, Jupiter's journey, I'm going to talk about Jupiter transiting through the end of Cancer, where he cavorts with Venus, and then we have a year of Jupiter transiting through the sign Leo. You're going to want to stay tuned to see how it affects you. Welcome to the episode featuring Jupiter's journey. The first part, I'm going to talk about Jupiter finishing up its year transit through the sign Cancer. And as it goes through Cancer in June, we get a boon as it cavorts with fellow benefic Venus. It's a love fest. And this occurs June 19th to the 23rd. And then we're going to have Jupiter's transit into the sign Leo starting in July of 2026. So there's a lot of Jupiterian joy from the Jolly Giant during June. Stay tuned. So the first Jupiter transit that we all have to feel and let it heal us is when Jupiter and Venus conjunct in Cancer. It's one of the most heart-centered and emotionally expansive alignments of 2026. The benefics Jupiter and Venus unite in Cancer between June 9th and the 23rd. This conjunction of the planets that want to share big love, big money, big health will amplify themes of emotional healing, divine feminine energy, issues around family, home, nurturing, fertility, and abundance. We can look at developing our intuition and becoming more compassionate in our relationships. Cancer, the sign where the Jupiter-Venus conjunction is happening in June 2026, is ruled by the moon in astrology. So this conjunction brings heightened emotional sensitivity, psychic receptivity, nostalgia, and a desire for authentic soul connection. Jupiter is exalted in Cancer during the late May and June period, so it will be extremely strong and fortuitous as it is in its exaltation and connecting with fellow benefic Venus. So what can we expect from this conjunction? Well, it's a time of emotional abundance and heart expansion. It will bring healing into the emotional body. People may feel more sentimental and compassionate. They may be drawn toward their soul family or heal rifts in their family of origin. There's going to be a focus on healing relationships in general. Home is where the heart is. So there'll be a desire to create a safe home or a sacred space within your home or within nature. There will be a greater desire for emotional security. And it's a beautiful transit. Hey, if you need a date to get married in 2026 spontaneously,
hey, good luck.
Try June 9th or for the week after that. It's great for engagements as well. And hey, are you thinking of having a kid? Jupiter in Vedic astrology facilitates marriage and childbirth. So it's a good time to get it going to bring that child into incarnation. And Jupiter and Venus will smile down upon that conception. Also, we can heal ancestral traumas, go into the DNA and heal family trauma. It's very opportunistic for real estate and anything to do with home and property. And it's also good for women because the sign Cancer is ruled by the moon, and that is female focused, as is Venus. So we'll see some collective healing, and perhaps those will step into power that are female to take on the old boys club. Cancer emphasizes protection, nourishment, and emotional intelligence. Jupiter expands these qualities while Venus softens collective divisions. So, this transit will support spiritual communities, healing arts, trauma recovery, intuitive and psychic awakening, and healing family lineage. So the Jupiter Venus conjunction does have a side we have to be aware of. It can lead to overindulgence. So watch out for those sweets and treats and other things that feel good. And this also goes to emotional overindulgence. People may go into their feeling self a bit too much, and those around them may be like, enough already, turn it down a notch. There can also be escapism through comfort. And Jupiter and Venus err to the side of overindulgence or overspending. So people can want to spend more on themselves or luxury items. There can be some emotional dependency and clinging to the past. But use this transit in June to really expand your horizons and do some deep healing and love yourself more. Because then, drum roll, Jupiter enters Leo from June 30th, 2026 to July 26, 2027. The Jolly Giant jumps into Leo where he can be the king. And this is a dramatic, energetic shift from the emotional Cancer waters into fiery Leo for creative expression. So when Jupiter is in Leo for that year, from July 2026 basically through July 2027, it encourages confidence, visibility, courage, leadership, performance, creativity, romance, authentic self-expression. These are all Leo keynotes. Leo is also associated with the heart, heart-centered devotion, heart-centered calling. Come from the heart, not the head. And that means taking care of our creative self. Leo also has an association with children, the entertainment industry and entertainment in general, royalty and leadership. It also can help with bringing in visibility and fame, depending on where Leo falls in your personal chart. Leo likes to play and wants to seek joy. So this transit for the year with Jupiter in Leo urges us to come from the heart. Now, let's look back to the last time that Jupiter transited Leo. Remember, Jupiter cycles happen every 12 years. So the last cycle was approximately July 16, 2014 through August 11, 2015. So think about it. What was going on in your life halfway through 2014 into halfway through 2015? What happened? Well, Jupiter entered Leo on July 16, 2014. And then it went back into Virgo in August 2015, and then went retrograde, and finally left Leo on October 10th, 2015. So there's the previous Jupiter in Leo cycle. Was it a good one or was it challenging? And if we look back further, we had the previous Jupiter in Leo, 2014 to 2015. It was also there 2002 to 2003. What was going on? 1990 through 1991, 1978 to 1979, and those people who were born from 1966 to 1967 are also having their Jupiter return. So if we look back to what was going on in 2014 through 2015 in the previous Jupiter and Leo transit, we were noticing that things were coming up like YouTube. The whole thing with influencers was showing up strongly. Artists were becoming more independent. We had heart-centered leadership. The whole thing about personal branding was a big deal. People were starting to branch away from the traditional job situation and becoming more entrepreneurial. We're going to see all that again. And it was the bursting of the social media celebrity culture, and that includes influencers. So we're going to see that all go to a next level and some new manifestations. However, in our cycle of Jupiter and Leo, from 2026 to 2027, we have some different things happening. We've got Uranus and Gemini in the mix, sextiling Jupiter and Leo, which is why there's AI right now. So there's going to be more enhancement in AI, rapid communication shifts, and explosive digital creativity. We also have Jupiter opposite Pluto in Aquarius during this cycle, which is going to give some tension between individual creativity of Leo versus the collective technical power of Aquarius. So there could be some issues with AI ethics. We've talked about that. That's coming in from many places versus freedom versus control. Pluto is power. Who's going to own the networks? Social media, and other power structures. We also will have Jupiter trine Saturn and Neptune in Aries during this cycle. So this is very good for new brands, visionary leadership, inspired action, spiritual entrepreneurship. So the 2026-2027 cycle of Jupiter in Leo may feel like a major collective creative awakening period, compared to the more performance and visibility focused Leo transit of 2014 and 2015. And this Jupiter in Leo is one of the points of a six-pointed star. 4 of them are being filled in. As Jupiter goes in Leo, he does aspect by opposition Pluto and Aquarius, by trine Saturn and Neptune in Aries, and by sextile 60 degrees Uranus. So I'm going to go through, these are key transits, and that's why July of 2026 is very lit up, because we're having an awakening. And the degree that they're all going to be having these harmonious aspects to each other is 4 degrees. So it will be 4 degrees of Aries, 4 degrees of Leo, 4 degrees of Aquarius, 4 degrees of Gemini. That's where Neptune will be located, 4 degrees of Aries. Uranus, 4 degrees Gemini. Pluto, 4 degrees Aquarius. And then the new guy, Jupiter, comes in and activates it. So that being said, it's really, really important to know where 4 degrees of air and fire fall in your natal birth chart. Hit me up, JillJardineAstrology.com. If there was ever a time to get a reading, it's actually now, because this is huge. This is not just a moment in time. This formation that's happening with Jupiter joining the party is setting a template for the coming years. So you're really going to want to know how this is affecting you personally. So let's talk about these key aspects a little bit more in depth. Exact in July, the first one of them will happen when Jupiter in Leo sextiles Uranus and Gemini. Again, it's at 4 degrees. This is one of the most exciting aspects of 2026. Jupiter in Leo forms a supportive sextile to Uranus and Gemini, bringing breakthrough innovations. There can be sudden opportunities, unexpected success through and with technologies. Of course, AI is going to blow up, and there can be radical creative reinvention. So it's really good for things like podcasting, writing, teaching, any kind of expression, creative technology. It's going to really give a blast to education going to a new level, AI, alternative media, and any kind of technology that promotes consciousness. And we're all about that on Cosmic Scene with Jill Jardine. But as I always say, never take out the human element or that sentient being of humanity, because it won't work in the long run. We are spiritual beings having a material experience and not the other way around. The other big transit that will happen in July 2026 when Jupiter jumps into Leo is the opposition to powerful Pluto in Aquarius. This is intense. This is going to be pretty intense, because this is where we're going to see power dynamics, and it's going to be in the collective and your personal life. So we're going to see a regime change, because Leo rules the kings and the leaders, while Aquarius is the collective. So we're going to see them button up against each other in July and August. Power struggles. Basically, they both want individual creative sovereignty. Pluto in Aquarius represents collective transformation, technical power, and societal restructuring. And now, butting heads with those leaders, Jupiter and Leo, there can be ego inflation, power struggles, conflicts between individuality and the collective. Get ready for big celebrity scandals and secrets being revealed as Pluto digs up the dirt. There can be battles over truth and influence and massive shifts in leadership structures. Watch the leaders of the world start falling like dominoes as we see regime changes. People are going to also question about AI, power, digital surveillance, and the role of politics, politicians, influencers, and everybody who thinks they have power. So that means that people individually and collectively have to reclaim authentic power rather than seeking validation from outside themselves. The third Jupiter aspect that occurs is going to also be in July, and this one is quite lovely. Jupiter's the guru going to try Neptune, which is a spiritual planet. It can also be delusional, though, so watch out. It's a highly spiritual, visionary, and inspirational alignment. There can be opportunities for spiritual creativity, inspired leadership, mysticism. We may see new spiritual movements. Get ready for more cults. Can't wait to see those series on Netflix. And that people are feeling more positive. It's a really good transit if you're an artist, spiritual teacher, healer. Musicians, new music will come through. Visionaries and entrepreneurs launching soul-aligned missions. You guys get a bump up. So individually, trust your intuition, follow your divine inspiration. Again, the theme has come from the heart and the soul with Neptune added. And then a little later, we have Jupiter trine Saturn in Aries from August through September 2026. Hey, baby, it's time to manifest. Saturn brings it down to earth. Jupiter expands, Saturn stabilizes. Together they create. There's a chance for sustainability, growth, discipline, creativity, and focus on eyes on the prize. Long-term success. So we can expand, but we expand with structure. So this is a good aspect for commitment to something, for building a legacy, for launching something like a business, publishing, any kind of career advancement, building your brand. So during this year of Jupiter and Leo, we have a few themes. One is on the rise of creative leadership. People will become less willing to hide, and people want to be authentic. And so we're going to see a lot of people leaving the golden handcuffs of the corporate or traditional business and start branching out and branding themselves. I can't wait for an entertainment renaissance. I think film is going to flourish. There could be a new way of movies being made. We'll see some new musical genres, and creating on different platforms is going to become much more prominent. And then we'll have AI trying to step into spirituality. There'll be new spiritual influencers, and AI is going to try and create them. Again, there's a disconnect there. Make sure that the people that you're following are valid, that they're very real and not very viral people. There could be some new consciousness movements. People are going to come into the heart, look at their authenticity, their self-worth, and it's going to be a lovely time for expansion. Stay tuned for part 2 when I share your zodiac sign forecast for Jupiter in Leo. Hi there, this is Jill Jardine, host of Cosmic Scene with Jill Jardine, and I have some news for you. Some of you know that I have a book that's published called Sacred sound formulas to awaken the modern mind, Sanskrit mantras to raise your vibration. Well, now I have the companion oracle cards for sacred sound formulas to raise your vibration. You're going to have a lot of fun with these. You pull a card, you get the mantra that will help you at whatever moment you pick the card, and so much more. So make sure you go online and order yours now, JillJardine.com. Welcome to the part of the program you've been waiting for, the zodiac sign forecast for Jupiter and Leo, which is from June 30th, 2026 through July 26th, 2027. Now remember, listen up if you know your ascendant, rising sign, or your moon, because this will definitely have some relevance for you as well as your sun sign. So remember, Jupiter is in Leo, a fire sign. So it goes without saying that all the fire signs are going to do very well. That includes Aries, Leo, and Sag. So Aries, guess what? Jupiter activates your fifth house of creativity in your solar chart. This is going to amplify romance. Woohoo! It's a powerful year for creative projects. You could pull in that passionate romance, or you could reignite it in your existing relationship. Fifth house is also about children. And so you're being asked to connect with your inner child, have a child, be around children, and foster children of the body, mind, and spirit. It's also going to be very good for luck. Fifth house is considered the luck house in Vedic astrology. So throw a wide net and see what comes back. Jupiter, trine Saturn, and Neptune in your sign will help mature you, and you could move into a role of leadership. You are learning to trust your vision while grounding it into reality. So make the most of Jupiter throwing you some love from fellow fire Leo, lighting you up, Aries. Taurus. Remember, Taurus sun, moon, or rising. This transit activates your solar fourth house, which expands your home and family sector, which also means looking at where you're living. There could be a potential to move. You could also have luck in real estate. And you're healing family karma. So you could go back to the motherland. So if your family is from, let's say, Ireland, you could go back and visit and connect with your roots. It's all about your roots. So Taurus, use this opportunity to connect. You're also here to create more emotional security. You're doing some intense inner child healing, and also family DNA, lineage DNA. So your galactic star DNA can come out even stronger. So there can be some breakthroughs involving ancestral patterns and family relationships. And overall, it's going to give you very, very good luck with property and home, or with issues close to home and having home improvements. Gemini. Leo throws an aspect to your third house of communication, which you're all about. So this is a great year for teaching, writing, podcasting, networking, any kind of media outreach, any kind of communication. And Uranus in your sign is sextiling Jupiter. So you're going to have sudden opportunities in every aspect of your life. There's a reinvention of your identity. This is one of the best signs for consciousness expansion. So pay attention to those thoughts that come in. Just don't be too manic with everything coming in, and use the Saturn in Aries throwing an aspect to your sun to stabilize and ground. Get out there and walk around. Gemini, there's so much input coming in from the cosmos that you really need to anchor it, because you'll use it later. There's so much stimulation this year. Cancer. The love keeps flowing. Your solar second house. Show me the money, honey. That's your money house. Jupiter has already spent a year blessing your sign in Cancer, which is its exaltation, but it gets even better as it moves into your financial sector. So there could be an opportunity for increased income or a financial opportunities. Look at enhancing your self-worth, monetize your skill set. use this to build your confidence, and you're learning to value yourself more deeply. Leo, it's your time to shine. This is your major expansion cycle. It's occurring in your solar first house of self. So it's all about you. And you love that, Leo, when you're in the limelight, because you could be getting some recognition, more visibility. Certainly, you can grow any aspect of your life, even your waistline, so be careful not to overindulge. But it's really good for anything that concerns you, leadership opportunities, career growth. You can reinvent yourself. You have to stay authentic and avoid ego inflation and body inflammation. So rein it in and use the Saturn trining your sun to help you stay the course and not overindulge. Virgo, your 12th house in your solar chart is being activated. This is your spiritual and subconscious sector. There can be deep healing if you can just let go of control. There can be spiritual awakening. See if you can keep a dream journal, because your dreams could be very interesting. Hey, if you ever wanted to take that retreat to get away from it all, do it in 2026 through 27. It's also about rest and recovery. You are preparing for a massive rebirth when Jupiter enters Virgo in July, late July of 2027. So get your groove on now and take care of all that subconscious clutter so you can be clear next year. Libra, Jupiter activates your 11th house, which is the house of the future, friendships. So your friendships, networks, audiences, and future vision expand. You can expand your reach and you can work within your community. You're all about collabs, collaborating with other people. You're also getting a lot of clarity about your future, what you want to do, what you don't want to do. And you can create some alliances that offer opportunity, but get out there and connect. Whatever you do, Libra, do not isolate. People want to help you out. Scorpio, your solar 10th house is activated. So there you go. It's time to live your dharma. You're going to experience more with your career and public status. You may receive promotions and become more visible professionally, step into a leadership role. Pluto will be squaring your sun. So you have to balance work with emotional well-being and seek out sources of enjoyment, because Leo is about having fun. So make sure you're not all work and no play. Scorpio, find time to play as Jupiter transits Leo. Sagittarius, your solar 9th house is being activated. And guess what? You love the 9th house, the house of fortune. And guess what? Jupiter's your chart ruler. So your natural house and your natural planet are coming together to bring you a love fest. Fellow fire sign Leo wants you to expand through travel. Perhaps you're going to take courses or you're going to teach something. Expect spiritual growth or work on that, because it can be easier. You're going to want to expand your horizons near and far. Your confidence and optimism come back. So Sagittarius, throw a wide net, try some things new and different, and definitely seek solace in experiences that are out of your normal wheelhouse. Capricorn, your 8th house in your solar chart is activated. That's the house of the subconscious. Ruh-roh, you got to do some deep work. Also, it's other people's money. Yay. So this transit will activate transformation, intimacy, finances, and soul healing. Show me the money, honey. Look at shared resources, not necessarily what you earn, but what you're investing in. And other people might be kindly disposed and throw some money at you. So it's a time of psychological healing. Do the work and the money will follow. There can be emotional empowerment on deep levels as you release old fears. So, Capricorn, do the inner work and the outer life shows up. Aquarius. Hello, Leo. Jupiter is occurring in your house of relationship. Expect transformation there. And Pluto's in your first house of self. So everything is topsy-turvy. So relationships can become transformational. You can bring new people in that rock your world, and you can be rocking theirs as well. So this could be things like soulmates coming in. Hello, you cleared some karma. Pluto has been kicking you to the curb, and now you emerge and rebirth. And there's people that want to hang with you, Aquarius. This is also good for business partnerships. And guess what? They want to help you out. Jupiter says, I'm a benefic. I'm going to help you to get where you need to go. However, it doesn't happen without perhaps some power dynamics because of Pluto. But there can also be a touch of power dynamics as people vie to see where they should position themselves with you. But you know, Aquarius, you're not about that. You want it to work for everybody. So this transit asks you to balance independence with intimacy. And Pisces, your solar sixth house is activated. So Jupiter says, time to get to work. Look at your health, get your routines in order, and you can find the regimes and the routines and the remedies and the supplements that can help you with wellness improvements. You're building better habits. And maybe you're going to find some healers. What? You never had a massage? Well, it's time, Pisces. It's okay. You won't take on their energy. You can receive healing and actually be transformed by it. So it's really, really good for you because also there's going to be your practical life and spiritual coming together. Jupiter and Leo want you to feel good. What do we say? You got to feel it to heal it. And that's it for Jupiter in Leo. So remember to like, subscribe, give us a 5-star review. Check out my YouTube channel, which is at Jill Jardine 2186. And also, I'm on TikTok. So hit me up on all platforms, like and subscribe and follow. This is Cosmic Scene with Jill Jardine, sending jolly Jupiterian vibrations through the quantum field.
Everyone knows winter is the real mess maker. You don't need WeatherTech floor liners for summer, unless you hit the beach and half the beach ends up back in your car, or the campsite dirt ends up in your trunk. Then you'd want a cargo liner. Or a road trip goes sideways, lemonade spills, ketchup goes rogue, ice cream drips. Yeah, you'd be pretty happy about those WeatherTech seat protectors. So just to be clear as the mud you're inevitably going to step in this summer, you don't need WeatherTech. Unless you plan on doing summer. Visit WeatherTech.com today.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.